All right, good morning, boys and girls. Today we are working on Module 6, and this is Lesson 2. So again, we started a new module yesterday, so we're going to continue working on Module 6, Lesson 2. We're learning about decimals and how they are related to fractions. All right, so yesterday we took notes and we were relating decimals and fractions in the tenths place value. So we talked about how fractions show apart, decimals show apart of a whole. But we can also have wholes and then another part. So just like when we would write a mixed fraction, we could have 3 wholes and then another half, for example. We could have 3 1/2. So you'd have 3 wholes and then another half of a whole. We'd have a half of a whole. All right, so we can do the same thing with decimals. We can show that we have 3 wholes plus a half, or 3 wholes plus something else. But because we're working with decimals and our place value chart has to do with tenths place, so let's say these are our ones, and then remember our decimal is right after the 1, and we have tenths, and then we have hundredths, thousands, although we're only working into the tenths column today. So we can have hundredths and thousands, but we'll just work on tenths today. All right, so let's say I had 3 wholes and then I had some tenths. Well, I can make equivalent fractions to make tenths, but I'm just going to give you a fraction with a tenth. Let's say I had 2 and 2 tenths. Let's say this is my fraction. So I have 2 wholes, and then my other part would be cut into 10 pieces, and I have 2 of them shaded in. So this is my 2 tenths part. So I have 2 and 2 tenths. I can write this as a decimal. So this is my fraction. And now I'm going to write it as a decimal. So my 2 wholes, that's just the number 2 goes in my ones column. So whole numbers go on this side, right? So whole numbers. And parts of a whole go to the right of the decimal. Well, I have 2 tenths, that's a part. So I write 2 tenths as just decimal point 2. So I have 2 and 2 tenths. So when I see this decimal point, I say and, 2 and 2 tenths. And remember, this has the TH at the end. Let's do another example of converting a mixed number into a fraction and then vice versa. So let's say I have 3 and let's say I have 4 tenths. So again, I could model like 3 wholes and then another 4 tenths, but I'm going to write it as a decimal. So this is my fraction, and I'm now going to use my place value chart here. So this is my ones, my decimal point, and my tenths. 3 and 4 tenths. Well, my 3 is my whole number. I have 3 whole numbers. So that goes in my 3 ones. 3 and 4 tenths. 4 tenths. 3 and 4 tenths. So this is my decimal. So I write it as 3.4. 3 and 4 tenths. So 3 and 4 tenths, I can also write it like this. 3 and 4 tenths. Fraction, decimal. So this is a mixed number. This is just writing it as a fraction. Whole number and the part. So the whole number goes to the left of the decimal. The parts go to the right of the decimal. So today we're going to be doing that in our workbook. And again, you'll notice I'm just writing on a piece of paper. I'll eventually staple it into my notebook. So I have both my notes from yesterday and today's lesson. So make sure you have some of the notes written down so it makes sense to you. All right, so let's take a look at page 9. So we're going to look at page 9. Again, make sure you're module 6 so you actually can see the same problems I'm seeing. It says module 6 and 7 on your cover. All right, so for each length given below, draw a line segment to match. So they want you to basically draw a number line and express each measurement as an equivalent mixed number. So they want you to write it as a fraction. So we're going to show line segments. So we're going to draw a number line. Okay, so we're going to kind of draw a number line. And then we're also going to show it as a fraction. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and write my fraction first. I think it's easier. This is 2 and 6 tenths. So 2 and 6 tenths, 2 wholes, 6 tenths is my fraction. So remember, to the left are my whole numbers, to the right of the decimal, they're my parts. So 2 and 6 tenths. So I want to draw basically a line segment or a number line. So the difference between a line segment and a number line is I don't have arrows on the back, on each end. I just have little lines like this. So again, though, I am going to start at 0 because I want to show 2 wholes. So I'm going to show this is 1 This is 2. And then obviously, because this is more than 2, I'm going to draw my little 10 little marks in here. So I need to break between 2 and 3 into tenths. So I'm going to break that into half, and I'm going to do 5 lines or 4 lines on each. So I have 5 segments. So I have 10 marks here. So 2 and 6 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tenths. So here is 6 tenths. 2 and 6 tenths. So 1 whole, 2 whole, 3 whole numbers. But because I have 2 wholes plus another part, this is the part where I'm going to break it into sections. So this is the section I break it into tenths. So I can show 2 and 6 tenths. Let's do one more example together, and then we'll continue tomorrow with the rest of our page. So 3 and 4 tenths. So that place value just to the right of the decimal is tenths. So I'm going to write this as a mixed number. 3 is my whole number. 4 tenths is my decimal part, or my fraction part. I want to draw a number line or a line segment showing 3 and 4 tenths. I'm going to start here. I have to go all the way up to the whole number of 4, though, because 3 and 4 tenths is a little bit more than 3. So I'm going to say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I only need to really break between 3 and 4 into tenths because it's 3, and obviously the decimal is going to go in here because this is whole number 1, 2, 3. And then if I have 4 tenths, it's going to go in here. So I break it in half, and then I'm going to break each section into 5 parts. So I'm going to draw 4 lines and 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 parts. I double check and make sure I have 10 parts. I need it to be on 4. So 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths right here. 4 tenths. So 3 and 4 tenths. Decimal, mixed number. So we have it both as a fraction and a decimal here, 3 and 4 tenths. If you need to pause at any time, go ahead and do that. If you need more time drawing your number line or line segment, that's fine too. You can pause and take your notes. So make sure you have all your notes. We'll continue the lesson tomorrow, converting decimals into fractions and vice versa, and modeling it on a number line. Have a great day, and I'll see you either later today or tomorrow.